This is the absolute best diet on the planet, and if you're not following this diet, you are extremely missing out. Me personally, I've tried so many diets on the market, and statistically, every single American will try 126 diets in their lifetime. And if I'm being honest for a second, if I'm gonna be real and transparent, I would consider myself a foodie. I'm someone who absolutely loves food. And I believe, as someone who really likes and enjoys food, you shouldn't have to cut out your favorite foods in order to lose weight. I love carbs, I love ice cream, I love chips, probably like you do. But the difference is I've learned how to utilize and fit those foods into my diet and still get results at the same time. Before, when I wanted to get in shape, I believed that getting in shape required me to get rid of foods that I like. And so in order for me to get in shape for years, I would cut out rice, I would cut out ice cream, I would cut out chips, I would cut out my favorite foods, and I would just grab onto sheer willpower and hopes and just prayers that I would have the strength to get through in order to lose the weight. A lot of people, when they set out to lose weight, they're like, oh, I'm gonna go on this diet in order to lose 20 pounds, in order to lose 30 pounds, and then when I'm done, I will come off of the diet. Any diet that you have to go on and you have to come off of is a bad diet that you should never do. So what I did was I attempted to eat healthy to lose weight. I attempted to eat healthy to get abs. I would stuff my face with chicken, broccoli, and tilapia, just counting down the days until the next cheat meal. Maybe you felt like that before. Maybe you felt like you have to count down until your next cheat meal on a Saturday night. Maybe you feel like you have to count down until the weekends and you're just waiting and waiting and waiting and holding on until you could actually have a burger that you really enjoy. So my cheat meal would come, and what would happen is I would eat as much as possible, knowing that this break from my rigorous diet would only last for a few more bites. And what happened was this created a really bad relationship with food. And your relationship with food is going to dictate a lot of your long-term success in your fitness journey. And I want to show a transformation of myself. This is where I was here with a bad relationship with food. This is where I was here with a better relationship with food, where I'm at now. In both pictures, I attempted to diet, and I would honestly say I had the same willpower. The difference is I had a different mental approach. If you never fix your relationship with food, you're never going to be able to get the body you want. You could try all the diets in the world. You could try all the cardio in the world. You could try all of the workout programs in the world. And those things could be perfect. But if your relationship with food is garbage, you're going to get garbage results. And so the problem is most fad diets that you've probably tried, again, the average American tries 126 diets in a lifetime. 95% of people who do fad diets, which I'm talking about keto, intermittent fasting, the Atkins diet, Whole30, etc., fail. 95%. As a fitness coach, when I hear a number like that, it literally shakes me to the core, right? It does. Because despite the headlines you see on magazines when you go into the grocery aisle of people losing 22 pounds in 30 days, those magazines don't tell you what happens after those people lose the weight. So cool, you might be in the grocery aisle, you might look to the left and to the right and you see magazines, you're like, wow, I need to try that diet because that person lost 20 pounds in 30 days. But what it doesn't tell you is the aftermath and the after effect. And the studies show, statistically, you have a 95% chance of gaining the weight back that you lost after you do a fad diet. This is the same problem that my client Nick Spampinato, who's an ER physician, struggled with before we started working together. He was doing all of these different diets. He was up and down in his fitness journey. He would stay consistent. He would go on, he would come off, and he would lose the same 10 to 20 pounds over and over again. He just never could get consistent, especially with his busy work schedule. When we implemented this flexible dieting strategy, this was when he was able to lose over 25 pounds in 16 weeks and keep it off and continue to progress month after month after month without the fear of having to gain the weight back. And so one of the first things you have to do in order to figure out and actually get the best diet on the planet is you have to stop labeling foods as good or bad. And so this was huge for Nick because burgers aren't bad and broccoli isn't good. And when you start to label foods as good or bad, ice cream's bad, tilapia is good. You're like, chips are bad, salmon's good. Egg whites are good, ice cream and cookies are bad, right? So when you start to label foods as good or bad, you start to have this negative mindset around food. And the second you start to eat bad foods, you label yourself as getting bad results. What if foods were not good or bad, but they're just more nutritious or less nutritious? Meaning some foods have more nutrients than others. That's simply it. And some foods have less calories than others. And it's that simple. What this does is by labeling foods as more nutritious or less nutritious, not good or bad, this gives you more freedom with the food choices that you have. And when you have to eat less nutritious foods like pizza, for example, you learn how to fit those less nutritious foods into your diet. And what this does is this allows you to stay more consistent for a longer period of time without the guilt or shame of enjoying your favorite foods. And I want you to think about the last time you felt guilt or shame with eating food. Maybe it was literally right before watching this video. Maybe it was last weekend. You had a little too much pizza, you had a little too much chips, you had a little too too much beer. And after, you felt the regret of eating the food. I know I've been there for myself. This is exactly what Phillip struggled with his relationship with food before we lost over 75 pounds in 8 months. But he would just feel guilty for eating McDonald's. He would feel guilty for eating chips. He'd feel guilty for eating ice cream. That guilt, all it does is it leaves you stuck in the past. And when you're stuck in the past, you're not able to make decisions to benefit your future. The old school approach of dieting is dead. And so you've probably followed a lot of old school approaches like myself: chicken, tilapia, broccoli, rice, etc. And so all of the fad diets you've tried up until this point will not get you the body that you want. It may get you it temporarily, but all they are band-aids on the real problem, which is your relationship with food. If you truly want to embrace the best diet on the planet, you have to embrace a flexible diet. Old school dieting no longer needs to happen, and you could put it in the grave, you could put it in the cabinet. You don't need it anymore. The good news is there is another way. And the goal really is this. The goal is to get great results without having to diet in the first place. So if you go on a diet and you don't see yourself doing it for the next 5 years, the diet is not worth you even thinking about. And that's the truth. Most people go on diets and they come off diets for a 30-day time frame. The problem with diets is that you end up losing the same 10 to 20 pounds over and over and over again. So here's what you need to do. And so what you need to do is you need to figure out how to eat 80 to 90% of your calories from nutrient-dense foods. Remember, we talked about foods are either more nutritious or less nutritious. There's no good foods and there's no bad foods. There's either more or less. So 80 to 90% of your diet should come from nutrient-dense food. This is going to give you a 10% buffer and cushion to eat more flexible foods, less nutrient-dense foods. That doesn't mean bad foods. So for example, now I have 10% flexibility to go eat ice cream or to go eat pizza and still fit it into my daily macronutrients for the day. The key is finding the right balance for you. And so maybe for you, that's starting at 80% and you start to work your way up. So typically what I do with my clients is we start around 90% and we work our way up to about 95%. And so even for myself, I would say I eat about a 95 to 100% flexible diet. And so as long as you're tracking your food and you're hitting your macros, you are good to go with the flexible dieting approach of a 90-10, 85-15, or even 80-20 rule. You need to get crystal clear on your calories, on your protein, on your carbs, and your fats. At the end of the day, no matter what type of foods you eat, as long as those numbers are getting hit, you're going to lose weight. That's the truth. So getting toned, lean, and shredded doesn't have to be boring or bland. And the reason why flexible dieting is the best diet on the planet, because it's the most sustainable diet on the planet. When you're doing keto, when you're doing intermittent fasting, when you're restricting yourself, when you're not allowing yourself to eat certain foods and you're labeling carbs as bad, you're labeling sugar as bad, you're labeling alcohol as bad, you set up yourself for failure because now you have a bad relationship with food. And the odds are, if you're a busy dude like myself, a lot of those things are a part of your lifestyle. So what you're doing now is you're trying to fit your lifestyle around your fitness goals instead of your fitness goals around your lifestyle, which is setting you up for long-term failure. Because now when you go on vacation, now when you have a work event, now when you have to eat with your kids, you're going to blame yourself and feel guilty for the food choices that you're making. And so as a matter of fact, I want to show you an example, and I'm going to link it in the description below, of a macro-friendly barbecue chicken pizza that you can try. And so what I love to do is I love to get creative with my food. Food used to be something I looked at as negative, but now it's something I look at as a joy. I love my diet. I love the foods I eat. Matter of fact, I believe that the way that I eat is better than the way you eat. I believe that the foods I eat taste better than the foods you eat. And all of my clients would agree, because when you learn how to eat your favorite foods, you pick 5 to 10 macro-friendly bomb meals, you eat them on a regular basis, and then you swap out foods when you can, and you continue to try new recipes. It's amazing and it's so fun. And when you're doing it this way, you never feel like you're on a diet. I am not on a diet, I am on a lifestyle. And if you're not on a lifestyle right now, that's what you need to shift. You need to go from dieting to lifestyle, because if you never go to lifestyle, you're never gonna be able to sustain the results you obtain. And so I hope you got some value from this video. My challenge and homework for you is to start implementing a flexible diet, learn how to do it properly so you can not only get the body of your dreams, but keep the body of your dreams. And if you want more help on how to set up a flexible diet so you never have to diet again, what I want you to do is fill out the link in the description that I'll post below, and I'll send you over more info on how we can work together one-on-one to get you into the best shape of your life. Make sure you comment below any questions you have, like this video, subscribe for future content, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.